Hello, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Happy Saturday. Welcome to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. This is episode number 67. There's going to be a fair bit going on today, and of course the title does suggest that we are picking up ourselves a new expensive player. Who could it be? Well, we'll find out as the episode goes along. What I would love to see from you guys is that support. If you can hit that thumbs up button, I'd really appreciate it. Let's go for 3,000 likes and sub to the channel if you're new. Click in the notification bell so you don't miss an upload and you become part of the notification squad. So rewards video yesterday, we didn't really do that well, did we? We didn't come away with anything like absolutely insane. Off camera, I went ahead and finished up the Liga NOS like squad battles icon swap thingy. So I'd spent like 25k or 15k or something on some half decent players from that league, some of the better defenders from that league, just to make it a little bit easier on myself, and I went ahead and sold them on. Made a little bit on a couple of them, lost a little bit on a couple of them, so probably lost a little bit on tax after all, but we come away with a new icon swap player, which I'm obviously happy to spend a few thousand coins and stuff on in order to make that happen as easy as possible. And then we leveled up, so we select our level 12 reward, and I'm going to go for the amphibian royalty, the King Frog, basically. We're going to go for that, but I like my Salford City badge, so I shan't be changing it anytime soon. We'll leave it with the lion for now. The frog does not exceed the lion in my opinion. But yeah, anyway, like there was a new SBC that came out on Thursday night, so I wanted to make sure that we got this player because it was a little bit. It would have been very easy to just look over this player and submit the same stuff into a Team of the Week upgrade, because that's how much this cost. This cost an 83 rated squad with 1 inform, and I had to go out and buy a GG Buffon. Everything else in the club I owned, so this felt super cheap. And rather than doing like a guaranteed inform pack, which could have got me something pretty trash, most likely would have got me something pretty trash, I decided to go out and get the first La Liga player of the month ever, that is Toko Ekambi. Now, we have a red version of this guy from his last inform, but I'm super happy to bring this player in for, like, I think it costs about 30,000 coins. For me, it cost like 2,000 coins because I had everything else in the club. And what this gives us is a very solid looking 86 rated La Liga striker. And I'm pretty happy with that. We have quite a lot of La Liga players in our squad. He's not going to go in my main team, but my La Liga squad for icon swap objectives did just go up a notch. That is for sure. And those are the sorts of players I think I pretty much will always do the SBCs for. Anything that's like 83, or sorry, like 30k or below for a decent looking player that is going to be a first owner, which is important this year, I think I'll pretty much always take them on and welcome them to the road to glory. So over time, obviously that builds up and costs quite a lot, but if it makes icon swap objectives any, or even if it's like for squad battles or whatever, if it just brings us in a decent first owner player for a small amount, then fine. If we then either, let's say next month Toko Ekambi got player of the month again and they made him like 30k again, well, then we've just got an 86 rated player that we can happily submit into an SBC. We just got to forget about it and move on and take those opportunities whilst they come, I think, anyway. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Make sure you let me know down below, actually. And whilst we're talking about comments and stuff, I saw a comment yesterday or the day before about... It seems a little bit weird. Obviously, in the last weekend league, I rage quit a lot of games. In Rivals this week, I've been rage quitting a lot of games as well, which is obviously adding a little bit of a negative factor to the episodes. So I'll definitely take that on board. If the rage quits happen in the weekend league, then you'll probably see them, because I'm less. I don't know. I'm more embarrassed of those ones, I guess, but the weekend league is the weekend league. However, the division rival stuff, if I do decide to just quickly rage quit to make things easier, then I'll probably just leave that out of the episodes in future. And maybe we can set myself up with a little challenge as, like, if I rage quit a match, I've got to do a gold upgrade pack for the road to glory. So rather than showing you a couple of goals and then rage quitting a match, we'll spend that time making a gold upgrade for the RTG, and you'll get to see it in the episode, and maybe we pack something good. So that will be like my, it will cost me a gold upgrade every time I rage quit in Division Rivals going forwards, I think. I don't think we'll do it for the Weekend League, but it was something that somebody suggested, so appreciate that comment, and appreciate that for going forwards as well. It could add a little bit of a fun element to the RTG. Let's say I rage quit 10 games during an icon swap. Well, I'm going to have to fork out to try and get 10 gold upgrade packs. You know, I'm going to have to do it. That's what it costs if I rage quit a game in Rivals. I think that could be a decent little idea. It's like a little sacrifice. And plus, it gives us something back to the Road to Glory, even if it's just a poor pack. You know, maybe we get something good every now and again. So Marquee Matchups came around, and I was hoping to get something good, obviously, because the last couple of weeks of rewards have been pretty trash, but the start of this hasn't been that amazing. You know, we pack an 82 rated Giroud. You never know when that's going to be useful. A lot of the time it isn't, and it's someone that just sells for a little bit, about 1,000 coins or something like that. So we get left with the two good packs, the two Champions League covered packs. It is a premium goal players to start things off. It's moving too fast again. That's not going to be a board or a walkout. It is just simply going to be a rare. We get Kevin Lasagna. Bit of a Road to Glory nostalgic hero, that one. I think he was, back in the day, he was like a silver. I can't remember which RTG it was, whether it was like 2 or 3 years ago or something. But he was like the guy that scored my first goal on the Road to Glory. He was the silver that, when you get like a bronze starter squad, he was the silver that I got given. And I've forever held him really highly in my ranks of nostalgic, awesome players for the RTG. So I'm never going to complain about getting a Kevin Lasagna in a pack, even if it isn't an amazing pack. Anyway, so the next morning I decided to gut my club a little bit because I needed some coins. The reason being is because we're going to go on the market and buy an expensive player. And that expensive player, I wonder how many of you have guessed it, is going to be Virgil Van Dijk. We have what is possibly the best centre-back on this game joining the Road to Glory. So I had to free up some coins, and I managed to pick one up for 559 when he was going for about 565. I since saw a little bit later on that he came down to around this price. Who knows? By the time you're watching this, he might be even lower. But he hovers. He hovers between 580 and probably about 550. So we've bought him somewhere in between that. And what that's going to do is obviously bring Van Dijk into the Road to Glory and hopefully shore up our defense a little bit more. So at the moment, I've got him and PK in there, but they are both very unagile and don't have amazing balance and stuff like that. So if they're too similar, we can definitely swap out and put Lenglet in where PK was. PK's been and gone. We've spent the money on him. Should we prefer to use someone like Lenglet over him whilst having Van Dijk, then I'm totally fine with that. It's no problem. However, I really like PK. I think he does a great job for the club. So hopefully him and Van Dijk can actually be a decent duo together. But we have to like free up some more coins in the club in order to buy our goalkeeper, which is why I'm still listing things on the market and discarding stuff in the background. In the meantime, I use some of my untradables to get together 5 of these 2-player packs. Seems as we're going to be doing a few more of these going forwards, I figured, you know what? I'll put 5 together now just with some untradables just to see roughly what they're like. I've done this before a few times. I just wanted to see maybe if we could get boards or a walkout. We do in the second pack right here. Unfortunately, it's just a board. It is not a walkout. It's going to be Polish striker, which of course means it's going to be from Napoli, which of course means it is going to be Milik. I think at the start of the game, people saw him as a bit of a Lewandowski troll. But now we know the tell for a walkout over a board. And of course, if it was Lewandowski this week, it would have been an inform, right? We get a blue Volland in that pack as well. So that was a half decent 2-player pack, not gonna lie. You know, it's not the greatest, not the worst though. And then the next pack, we don't get anything amazing. What are we actually gonna get in this pack though? I can't quite remember. It is Juan Mata, which is a duplicate. I pack Juan Mata like every day, it feels like, and he's always an untradable, and I've always already got an untradable one, so we swap him just in case. And no, it is a case of he is an untradable. He is going to have to be discarded as a duplicate untradable. And then 2 packs to go then. Can we get anything else? We've had 1 board so far from a few packs. This time, again, it's not going to be anything special, just a rare gold, and we're going to get ourselves an Ajax centre-back, Martinez. not bad. He actually looks all right, and as a first owner goes, like not too shabby from the Eredivisie. That could help us out if we ever need a good Ajax squad or an Eredivisie squad. And we move on to the final pack. Can we get a final board or walkout? No. So they weren't amazing, really, were they? If they've shown that they're not awesome, it's going to be difficult to open a few of these and pack like road to the finals or something like that. So yeah, it was a nice little experiment to do 5 of them, just in case, just to see what they offer out. And we finally get enough money to snipe ourselves and Alisson. Yeah, so that's the goalkeeper I went with. It was between him, Lloris, and De Gea. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, Alisson gets a strong link to Van Dijk, and that's useful. It wasn't necessary, though. If we had got De Gea, he'd have got a soft link to both Van Dijk and PK, and that could have worked out fine. But, like I was saying earlier, what if I want to try out Lenglet over PK? Well, then I'm going to have to swap De Gea out for someone, and I could have got Lloris, but then again, I can't use PK if I've got Lloris. And eventually, obviously, we're going to be getting Roberto Carlos, so having that strong link to Van Dijk will be essential going forwards, and I can quite happily switch my right centre-back between Lenglet and PK if I want to now, simply by, if I put Lenglet in, I have to swap Griezmann and Guardiola around, and then play the team as it is right now. So we go on in to Foot Champs. This is going to be my first opponent right here, Charlie Rowan, and as it turns out, actually is a viewer, so... All right, Charlie, there's your shout out, mate. Hello. Yeah, he's got Toko Akambi, he's got a Griezmann up front, a fairly nice team. Now, we started this game off fairly well, moving forwards and getting ourselves a goal. It took a couple of saves from like Neuer and blocks from the defender, but eventually the goal went in from Gareth Bale. We go 1-0 up after just 2 minutes, and I thought maybe I was getting a 2-minute rage quit, but it wasn't the case. We ended up playing a few minutes later, and a few minutes longer, should I say, earning ourselves another opportunity, which we secured a goal with Mbappe, and then Charlie decided to score a couple of own goals before he rage quit. I don't know. I guess at this point he would prefer to just let me have the win and move on. So I appreciate that. Cheers. We're going to get ourselves a little quit after this goes in the back of the net here. So we get effectively a 4-0, but really a 2-0 win in the first game of the weekend league. So yeah, cheers, Charlie, and we can move on happily going 1-0 in the weekend league. Actually, leave me a comment if you do watch this, mate. What game were you in, and what was your record when you came up against me here? Was it also your first game? I'm curious to know. Anyway, so 1-0. Nice one. We can move on into our second match. Stress-free that first game, which is brilliant. And we can move on and come up against Roberto Carlos, Player of the Month, Jamie Vardy, and all sorts of good stuff. He's got a red Pereira as well. So he's obviously got nice and lucky from this week's red picks. However, we play that ball through to Mbappe, get ourselves a 1-0 goal. Took 18 minutes pretty much on the dot to make that happen, but that's good. So we're 1-0 up, and then we can try and go 2-0 up here at the start of the second half. I'm going to use Virgil van Dijk as my near post header player from the corners, because he should rise like he should rise like a salmon, right? He's going to be great in the air. I know headers are difficult and stuff, but I should be able to win some stuff at the near post, and it resulted in a goal there, even if it wasn't from Van Dijk himself. The goalie saved it, and I just parried it into the back of the net. So that was all that game, had. It had those 2 real opportunities. We won the game 2-0, and it was a little bit like, well, I think my opponent kind of stayed on defensive or dropped back or whatever, even when he was 2-0 up, so it was a little bit of a boring end. And anyway, we come up against Neymar and Mbappe, and just genuinely a super meta, super crazy squad for this stage of FIFA. It's a similar team to like what we've had in the past, and very much matches mine, I would say, especially with the Neymar and Mbappe up top. We go 1-0 up, and in the early doors of the second half, we actually hit a green power shot at the near post with Mane to go 2-0 up. Now, again, this guy seemed to just be jockeying with the midfielder, not really there to go on the offensive, even when I was 2-0 up. And then I make this defensive mistake. I don't know why I tried to do that with Van Dijk, but either way, it's my mistake, and he capitalises and scores a goal. And then I'm like, there's no way. I can't lose this match. I should not be losing this match. However, he turned the style on at that point and got through and scored another goal. A few minutes later, not just like right at the end, but just only a few minutes later, he was going for it at this point. So I appreciate that someone doesn't just sit on drop back and actually did try and go for it in the end. But in the end, this game's gone to extra time and has gone to penalties. So you're going to watch the shootout here, and this This is always tense. Penalty shootouts are tough, man. With the head movement, the fact that the circle gets bigger if you move around, and you've got to time it as well if you want it, you know, to definitely go within that smaller circle. It's tough. I don't know if I necessarily love penalties this year. They are a complete lottery in my eyes. But anyway, we miss our first one there. Fortunately, we save our opponent's next one, and then get kind of lucky to score that one right there. So if we save this one, then we're in the lead. No, but we don't. So we're still drawing right now. Kante steps up, gets his penalty saved. However, I save Mbappe's penalty. So we are still level at this point, and we move on into sudden death. Now, Mane steps up and gets his penalty saved. However, I do save the next one. So we're still drawing at this point. But look at that. That was the penalty that I effectively lost to. Because I tried to time it, the only one here that I've tried to time, the box was like small and down, like in the middle of the goal. And I think even if I mistime it, it should still go within that box, I thought. But it skied it. It skied it because I timed it yellow instead of green. Now, I feel like that was a bit harsh. But we lose the penalty shootout regardless. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We are 2-1 in the weekend league. You always hate to see it when you play an entire 120 minutes and go all the way to penalties, all the way to sudden death within penalties, and then you lose. It's not a great feeling, is it? But I made a couple of defensive mistakes to even let that guy get back in the game. So we really will just take the loss on the chin. And we will move on and hopefully pick up some wins in the next episode so that we can... You know, last week we went 14-10. I'm not feeling very confident with the game at the moment simply because of that and a tough weekend rivals and stuff. So... if I go 14-9 this week, it's an improvement. That's how I'm going to look at it anyway. Guys, do me a massive favor. Hit that thumbs up at the end of this video if you haven't done so already. Let's go for 3,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. And I do hope that you guys out there have a wonderful day. I will catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.